Hello Blendies, welcome back to Blenverse Review, and also welcome to the newcomers. So 3 months ago, apparently, I have pre-ordered this guy, the Terrifier. This is the NECA's Ultimate Arctic Clown action figure from Terrifier again. So I just received this guy a couple hours ago, and of course, every time before I record a new review video, I have to make sure that I, explore and, kind of get to know more about the figure itself so that I can actually give my honest opinion about this figure. And before anything, my first impression with this figure, as I mentioned in my community post, I said it wasn't that positive. So, yeah. So in this video, you will get to know why that's the case for me. But generally, it's a good one, not a bad one. Like sculptings and things are absolutely amazing on this thing. It's just the couple parts, small parts that actually bothers me from liking this guy 100% with my full potential. So yeah, let's dive straight into the figure. So before anything, as always, we're gonna go to the box first. This is the front side of the box. Look at that, terrifying. I mean, he's the Terrifier. He's Arctic Clown over here. You see his picture, really iconic. And at the side, you see Damien Leone's Terrifier. At the back side, even more terrifying images of him. And I love how, bloody it looks at the backside of the box. The effect they have gave for this guy is quite amazing. At the other side, top side over here, Terrifier. And what I really like about this part of the box is that this hanger part, it's also in black and white, so that is quite impressive for keeping it authentic to the film and the character himself. That is a really cool thing. So before we get into the figure, as always, like how I reviewed my NECA figures back then, we're gonna go through the accessory first. And this guy has tons of accessories, as you can see right now. Look at that. Look at that. So this is one of his very iconic weapon. The weapon stuff. I forgot the name. I just my brain won't work for now. But here it is. You know what I mean. So it has a scalpel, has a scissor, bunch of other sharpie kind of things at the tip of the rope over here. I think it is decently sculpted, and yeah, I mean, there's not, too much going on with this thing. You see how scalpels going through the handle of the scissor over here, another scalpel, this kind of spiky knife kind of thing, and another scissor. He whips this on his victims every time, and it is absolutely terrifying to see. And it is, of course, his iconic weapon, and I really do like that they have included this into the figure. Okay, let's get to his knife. We're not gonna spend too much time looking at every single aspect of these weapons, by the way. But here it is. Nice, decently detailed. Look at that. Nothing's rusted though, so that is cool. You get a hammer over here. Look at that. Nice silver metallic color scheme. Got another tiny axe, which you see is sort of damaged at the bottom. I like it. I'm not sure what you really call this thing. It's almost like a screwdriver. I'm not sure if it is a screwdriver, but it is quite interesting to see these kind of accessories. Another nicely done painting. Nothing crazy going on. Cool enough. A tiny axe again. And this time it looks like it's rusted. Maybe that's a bit of blood on there. Not exactly sure. But yeah, it seems like it's rusted over time. And you get to his tiny axe, and not an axe, butcher knife kind of thing. And you also get a bigger sized one over here. That is interesting. I'm not sure if that's supposed to be the case, but I just noticed the handle here is shorter compared to the one on the other side over here. That is interesting. I'm not sure if that's supposed to be the case, but yeah, that is cool. You have his another big machete kind of thing over here. Nice. Nothing crazy going on. Just like the other weapons. And his hand drill over here. I like it. Nothing crazy going on again, but I think it is nicely sculpted. I mean, you can obviously tell it's a hand drill. Look at that. And yeah, you actually see a tiny the wire, the cable thing at the bottom, that is quite impressive for such a small, tiny sized accessory. You have a pistol as well, and I think it is decently sculpted. Of course, it doesn't move, nor the mag pops out, nothing, but it's there. And you have his scalpel over here, very tiny, nicely sculpted. And you have his another tiny knife, nothing crazy going on again, but it is nicely sculpted. I feel like these kind of accessories are really easy to lose, so just to be careful with that. You get his handsaw, everything's in metallic, like silver-ish color. I wish the color for the handles were painted differently, maybe in black or dark brown, something like that. That would be cool. And yeah, it is durable. It's not that bendy, just as the Trick or Treat Studios Art Clown that I reviewed previously. It's not as bendy as the handsaw there. And getting to his hand accessories, so both of these hands are meant to hold a drill or a pistol. It is nicely sculpted. I think it is pretty cool. One thing, again, the problem I have with this figure is always, again, the scuffs you get. And I'm going to talk about that in a bit as I introduce the figure himself. And you have this open grip hand, somewhat open gripped. And it is nicely sculpted, decently painted too. Getting to his other hand, this is meant to hold his scalpel, very iconic. It's not really an OK sign, by the way, it's meant to hold his scalpel. And you get his two different gripping hand. This is meant to be used to hold the, like knives or such other accessories like that. Cool. And we're gonna get to this doll that this woman in the movie had, and this is pretty cool. This is one of my most favorite accessory out of everything we've got here. It is cool. It is nicely detailed too. I like the painting of the face. It's the sculpting for the ribbon. It is decently done. There's even a tiny detail for the bottom side of the shoe. And this thing actually stands like that, so that is cool. And this is the actual plastic bag that they give you. I didn't really, untie this thing. It was already like that with the cardboard inside over here. So you can see it's roundly shaped. And you can actually put the weapons in here and then make him, hold this thing right onto his shoulder. And that would be a pretty cool thing to do. I think that's how I will most likely display this guy on my shelf. And finally, let's get to his head sculpt. So this is one of his face sculpt where it looks like he's kind of annoyed by something. I think it is really nicely done, especially when you look at it from the side. You see his iconic, long and curved nose with a dot over there. This is really cool. And of course, you get two pegs, as these are meant to be interchangeable. That. I think this head was the one that ideally comes attached when you first open it from the box. And this guy is just, I don't know, making fun of someone, I guess. He's enjoying something, slashing people. I guess that's the case. But this is really nicely done too, especially the teeth. I like how detailed it is. Getting to his other head, this just looks like he's trying to swear at someone. Though he's not a character who speaks at all in the movie. He doesn't speak. Everything's been done with his mime, with all those expressions. David has absolutely nailed his character as Art the Clown. I really loved how he, expresses his feelings, what he's gonna do, how he's gonna kill people, without a single word. That was a really cool thing. And finally, let's get into the figure itself. It already took 11 minutes, because I can check how long it has been since I've started recording this video. It's been 11 minutes just to introduce all of the accessories and extra head sculpt and extra hand pieces. Wow, you see how many accessories it has now? Do you get it? The amount of accessories that they have provided you is insane here. It usually takes about 11 or 12 minutes to review the entire, a single figure, usually. But just the accessories itself, it took a long time. So finally, let's get to the Arctic Clown himself. Let's go. So I'm gonna get rid of the box for now, because it distracts me from focusing on the figure himself. So this is my favorite head sculpt out of all the 4 interchangeable face plates that it comes with. This is the terrifyingly laughing one, and I think this sculpting just expresses how terrifying he is and what he truly is as being of like a psychopath clown. We're not so sure what art actually is. Maybe it's something like, I don't know. You know, it's kind of different from Pennywise, but you get the idea. It might have his a true form like Pennywise. We'll have to see in Terrifier 4, and I'm looking forward to it. And anyways, I think it is really nicely sculpted, especially the head. It is definitely terrifying. You can see over here. And his head, by the way, comes pre-attached to the head. It's not removable at all, so just do be careful with that. And yeah, I mean, nothing too crazy going on, especially the color scheme, because black and whites are the only painting that has been used generally, besides the fingertips and things. And I think it is pretty cool. So yeah, his collar kind of thing over here, it's nicely sculpted, though one thing that kind of bothers me, because I'm not sure if this is supposed to be, because you see a split over here. From what I know, this has to be exactly centered to the line over here where black and white gets splitted. That's where he uses his cloth hanger, and then just zips it back all the way to the top, right through the split over here in the movie, during the laundry machine, the drum machine scene. If you already watched the movie, you might know which scene I'm referring to. So yeah, I find that kind of weird if that's the case. Let me correct me if I'm wrong though. But yeah, the body is nicely sculpted. You see all those wrinkles there. It is pretty cool. Got his pom-poms. It's made in hard plastic, but still, just make sure you do be careful. You know, don't play too much with these. It might fall off over time, and I cannot guarantee it won't break at all. So yeah. Besides that, getting to his arms. Let's straighten it for now. So, there's a bunch of wrinkles over there, as you can see, but everything's in single, color. You see one side's in white, the other's on black. Well, you know, it's obviously better to see the details on the color of white over here on his left arm, so let's do that. So, yeah, I think it is pretty cool. It's nicely done. Wrinkles are decent, but of course, again, nothing too much crazy going on. The opened hand over here, nothing crazy again. And getting to his waist and legs, nothing crazy going on again, just wrinkles. It's just, you know, his classic costume. Art Clown just wearing his suit. Nothing crazy. I like how gigantic his shoe is. Look at that. Look how wide it gets to the top of the shoe. That is cool. And yeah, nothing too crazy going on. But this splitted part just kind of bothers me, because I feel like it should be at the center, at the backside of his, you know, his collar over here, where the line is, should be aligned together, from what I know at least. But yeah, anyways, let's get to the articulation. So straighten it up, like that. So he's gonna look down all the way that much. It's in double ball joints, so that is crazy amount of articulation that Art does. He looks up about that much. That's a lot of range of head swing and motion, and it's a ball joint, so he can move it around. And that tilt is insane. Look at that. Isn't that terrifying? He's just staring at you like that. Look at that. That is hella menacing, and I really do love the head articulation. They nailed it. Look how much pivot he can do. That is crazy thing that usually Ultimate figures can never do. So his shoulder does move up about that much. There's a single jointed elbow, which moves slightly over 90 degrees. It does swivel side to side, but it's kind of stiff on my end. His wrist swivels. It kind of hinges up and down as well. This part, by the way, is made in soft plastic, so do not worry about breaking wrist pegs. His torso is made in soft material. You can squish it, so he actually does have a inner articulatable torso joint, but I don't recommend you doing it anyway, because, you know, the entire piece is covered with rubber, his costume, but there is a articulation inside. So his leg does kick up about that much, back about that much. He split to side all the way 90 degrees. That is awesome. So his knee joints move about 90 degrees. His feet moves up and down. There is a pivot. Of course, it rotates. I believe this is in ball joint. Yeah, his ankle joint is made out of ball joint. So there we go, the T-posing Arctic clown. Now it's time to talk about its drawback. It's the bad thing about this figure, if that's easier to understand. So first of all, it's paint scuffs or chipping. So this was already the case when I first received it. You see, that's either a chipping or it's like a paint mistake that was there, because mainly they used white plastic for this entire piece. You can just tell. And yeah, that is kind of unfortunate. I mean, yeah. And the worst part about this figure is you get the paint chipping from like all the knee joints. You get it from elbow joints, and you get it from the wrist. You see the black paint smudges as you put this inside a wrist, and you see the white painting just smudged in there all the way inside, and you see all the chipped painting on my finger right now. That is unfortunate. And as I articulated during my review, these kind of massive paint chipping just occurred. That is very unfortunate, because when Scorched Xenomorph was a thing, when it was released by NECA a couple months ago, was it? I was really happy about their outcome. Like, I thought they absolutely improved their way of, finalizing the figure when it comes to paint chipping and stuff. Like, I thought they nailed it, but that was only limited to non-human based creature-like figures. So, like, whatever the figure that actually has a, human-based kind of form over here, where it has interchangeable hands and things, yes, they always have a paint chipping or scuffs that you get from the interchangeable hands and the wrists. This is another issue you have. Though not a lot of people, I assume, they don't really get bothered with those, because you don't really get to see the peg if you, attach it to the socket and the arm. But for some collectors like myself who easily gets bothered with smudges, paint chipping and stuff, or either scuff as well, this is just kind of unacceptable on my end. I know it's not an expensive figure. It is affordable for most of the collectors. It's relatively cheaper compared to like 1/6 scaled figures like Hot Toys or Trick or Treat Studio kind of things. NECA always do provide you an affordable and detailed and, acceptable circumstances. Like, they do bring you a decent quality figure. I do like NECA, don't get me wrong, but this is just unacceptable on my end. The reason why I kind of stopped collecting Ultimate figures back then was because all of these paint chipping you get, and I didn't really want to pay my money to get all these paint chipping that just naturally happens inside my shelf, that I have to clean it all the time. It's annoying, and now that I have to do it again with this guy, really, I get it, but NECA figures are getting higher in price, not dramatically, but really by a tiny bit. But if that's the case, I feel like they definitely can do something to improve the, overall, focus on how they finalize the figures as well. They do really good job with, like, xenomorphs, like alien figures, but this, though, no, like, I don't know. I'm not 100% satisfied with this particular figure. I'm going to be brutally honest, because of how badly it is finalized generally, and I'm not the only one who had to go through this issue. By this point, a lot of NECA collectors just did accept the fact that these paint chippings are very, normal things that happen with NECA. But I am wondering if that should be a case where consumers always have to accept the fact that NECA has these kind of issues. Maybe they can further improve it to satisfy us collectors who get bothered with these kind of things. That's just my opinion, though. But still, well, not a bad figure. I tell you, it's not a bad figure. It's just the downside of the paint chipping that extremely bothers me. But, so what I always have to do with these kind of figures is, especially, like these kind of paint mistakes on the black parts, it's really easy to fix. Just need a black marker over here, I'm just gonna show it to you right now. Just you know, do a bit of paint over here, like that. It's all good. You see? You don't really see the white painting anymore. I'm gonna do the same for the inner thigh section now. Is it really right for consumers to do this all the time, NECA? Because I feel like if we do improve the overall quality and general QC issues we have with paint chipping and things, this does not have to be done by us consumers ourselves. I think that would be very that would dramatically change how consumers view the figures from NECA. You know, like, I don't know if any of my words make sense, because I myself don't have no clue of what I'm saying, or if whatever I'm trying to say right now does make sense. I don't know myself, but if you do get what I'm trying to imply here, I do appreciate you. And again, as I reviewed it, one side of the leg gets extremely stuck. Look at that. It won't move at all. And hairdryer method doesn't really work for these kind of issues. It will work for a couple of minutes though, but not all the time. So what I'm gonna do is gonna bring one of the spray that I always use to take care of my beloved figures, and I'm gonna spray it to the ball joint like that, just tiny bit, and it's gonna make it smoother for like these kind of stiff joints. As I move it around, see, it's getting smoother and smoother. It was completely stuck, so I couldn't move it up and down. Now I can. Now I can move it smoothly. And I myself don't want to have to spend money on these kind of sprays just to fix these kind of issues on my own. Like, I usually do try to be optimistic in every single review I do, because I love positive things. I always do want to mention about good sides of these kind of figures, but this one I'm not so sure what I can tell you. Not a bad figure, honestly. And yeah, I did fix the paint chipping. And now the legs move smoothly for both sides. I sprayed this part, by the way. I sprayed this part as well. Now it moves. But again, it's not a good thing for consumers to do these things on our own. If it's the matter of the cost of the material, or the quality of the material that they use, due to how cheap and how affordable these kind of figures are, yeah, I do get where you're coming from. But again, if they do already know about these, because these are really common issues that NECA has come across for years and years now, I wish there was some sort of like a communication between NECA and us, because I do love NECA. Again, don't get me wrong, but I really do want to know what they want to do about these kind of scuffs, kind of issues in the future. But yeah, besides that, it is such a cool figure, don't get me wrong, I do like it. And yeah, I will definitely put this guy on my shelf, but of course, before anything, I'm going to give him a real good clean to get rid of all the remaining chipping I might have. And yeah, let's finalize this video with some poses. So these kind of, whipping point, these kind of whipping scene from the movie, like these pose are my favorite to do with Art the Clown. And yeah, I mean, visually they did nail it. Again, it's just a scuff that bothers me. So yeah, I think it is cool, honestly. Besides all the issues that I've mentioned, this is a worth figure. It's worth the money. It's worth the price. Yeah, I mean, you will be able to like this figure if you are a fan of Terrifier. And I mean, I do appreciate Ultimate figures that NECA really produce all the time. It's just these kind of human-based kind of figure that has these common issues regarding the chipping and things that I've aforementioned. That's unfortunate. But besides that, I like how poseable he is. There's also a 1/4 scale, also known as 18-inch series from NECA of this Terrifier that's upcoming. I did not pre-order it because I cannot get it locally here. NECAs don't easily get stocked locally, but I don't know. If I do get a chance to get the 1/4 scale Art the Clown, I might pick it up if it's affordable here. But for now, I think this will do. I do love Art the Clown. I do love the movie. Do love David Howard Thornton. Lovely actor for this Art the Clown. Yeah, I do like it. Well, I think I was yapping too much about more about its downside than its positive side. I usually never do this, but I really did want to express my, feeling towards this common issues that's been happening with NECA all the time regarding the, paint dripping and things. So yeah. Anyways, guys, I do like this figure. I do like Terrifier, I do like Arctic Clown, don't get me wrong, but if I have to rate it out of 10, I'm going to give it a 7.5 out of 10, to be brutally honest. A lot of accessories, cool. Detailed head sculpt, detailed costumes, his shoe, everything, love it. His head sculpt, way better than what I was expecting in real life. But, yeah, other stuffs, no. So, yeah. I mean, 7.5 is still a decent score, I believe, on my end at least, but anyways, guys, thanks for watching, and yeah, next review, I will be doing a retro cloth Nightmare on the Elm Street 3 Dream Warriors Freddy Krueger, the Tuxedo Freddy. I already uploaded a picture on my post, so please do check it out, and I will find you back with that review soon. See you next time.